Holy crap, I am pale. Guys, we're wearing our matching shark Christmas shirts. Can't really see it, but we just slept in it. So it's 10 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. You are seeing this the same day that I'm recording for this week's Real Talk Tuesday. I'm getting over a cold. I'm getting over a cold that this one gave to me. Wow. Wow. Ooh. Ooh. Sorry about that. A little bit of destruction. I really just should put my glasses on because these bags are real right now. Okay, hold that. I thought let me not put my glasses on because you can't see my eyeballs. But whatever. So I want to make a disclaimer in this video right now. I have watched a few videos that were titled something similar to this, whether it be someone was deciding to no longer be vegan or vegetarian or whatever, and the amount of hate. I am not speaking for all vegans, I am not speaking for all vegetarians, but I know a handful of them are like wholeheartedly believe that if you eat meat, you are an evil person and you deserve to die, basically, like in all seriousness. So you never know what one of your videos are gonna get more views than another. If the case happens to be that this video gets a ton of views and a ton of hate and or death threats, because I've seen that too, the comments may be disabled. So we'll just see how it goes. So anyway, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Stephanie, and today I am gonna talk about how I've been feeling lately. And that is that I don't know if I wanna be a vegetarian anymore. I just don't know. I have been meat-free for a year and a half at this point, like almost exactly a year and a half. Actually a little bit over than that. A little bit over that. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of backstory. Years ago, I mean, probably like 10 or so years ago, I had times within that time and a few years following where I was a vegetarian for a week, I was a vegetarian for a month, I was a vegetarian for 2 months, I was a vegetarian for a few weeks. I had that decision in my head a few times in my life, and mainly it was because of all the PETA videos and things like that that I saw, and as far as like animal rights, that was the main reason. The reason it was hard for me to do that back then was because I lived at home with my parents and I was young. I wasn't making enough money to like feed myself all day and have like my own stock of food, that kind of thing. So I couldn't do it on my own like that. That's why it didn't last very long every time I did do it. I also didn't have the will to stop something that was literally in my lifestyle my whole life. However, this time around, it was probably like 3 months before I turned 24. Yeah, a few months before I turned 24 or 25. I don't remember, whatever. Like I said, it's been a year and a half. It was the August after my son was born. He was born in July. Netflix came out with a documentary called What the Health. I'm sure you've seen it. Almost everybody has. And basically, the documentary is pretty much giving factual information and research that had been done to try to pretty much persuade people to live on a vegan diet. No animal products at all. With that came information about the health risks of meats coming from big industries and that kind of stuff. It wasn't even as far as showing anything that had to do with animal rights or anything like that. It was strictly like what meat does to your health and how industries promote this unhealthy lifestyle, even if they're industries that are supposed to help you be healthier, if you understand what I'm saying. I'm not gonna go into detail. If you wanna go watch it, go watch it. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. I'm sure you can find it online or something. It's called What the Health. I watched it and I cried and I just felt terrible because I was now a mom. And I thought to myself, like, I'm living this really what I believed after watching it was a super unhealthy lifestyle when I need to be well, and I wanted to eat things and just live a lifestyle that was going to add longevity to my life for my son and future kids. You know, I want to be around and be healthy for my kids. So right then and there, I had decided that I no longer wanted to eat meat, and I did it. And I've done it for this long. And at first it was really hard because having eaten meat my entire life until then, I had to learn how to make things that would still give me the nutrients that I needed. And you know, the protein, and I take B12 supplements because you can't really get enough of it on a vegetarian, especially vegan diet. No animal products, you're not getting enough B12. So I started taking that. What also made it a little harder was because I like eating meat. I've never been a huge red meat eater, but I've always loved chicken, turkey, even pork. Always loved it. It was hard to curb those cravings. But like I said, the more I found out how to do things as a vegetarian, it became easier. And I have to say it's probably after like 3 or so months. I'm sorry, Maverick's playing in the background. If that's distracting, I do apologize, but he's a toddler, so he's doing stuff. So I want to say it took maybe 2 or 3 months for me not to crave meat anymore. And actually, like I said too, if you think about it, I started in August, right before the holidays. Thanksgiving came and it was hard. It was really hard. I always had the turkey leg every year. And I love mixing my turkey with the gravy and everything. I make like a Thanksgiving mush where everything is just together. And I didn't have any meat, not even a vegetarian meat on Thanksgiving. That was hard. Christmas came, no lasagna, no Christmas ham. It was hard. The cravings were still pretty real. But after that, it became easier because it wasn't something that was a huge thing. My husband wholeheartedly eats meat. He will never give it up, and I get it. And that didn't really change. I would make things that pertain to me and to him, and our schedules kind of conflicted anyway, where like he had to make his own and I had to make my own and whatever. It worked for a little while. However, fairly recently, and I mean so much so recently to the point where, okay, the holidays just passed. I was totally fine. Like I said, it's been a long time. I found alternatives to even like for the holidays, different things to have. The vegetarian meats, like the soy protein, that kind of stuff, I started eating. Not a ton of, because soy isn't great for you either in an abundance. Which brings me to my next point. Well, first of all, very, very recently, I have actually been craving meat. I so badly want to indulge in a rotisserie chicken. I want chicken noodle soup. I want lemon pepper chicken with some mashed potatoes. Like I said, chicken was always my big thing. Actually, last night my husband made ribs and I was this close. I was this close to eating it. Over the weekend, I made a roast beef for my parents. They came over for dinner. And I was this close. I said to myself, just do it, whatever. It is what it is. You've come this far. You know, you did a good job, pat on the back, move on. And I didn't. And I haven't, because I feel like it's sad, because I partially feel like, because over the course of this year and a half, it kind of stopped being about health. Because to be completely honest, and I don't, you know, whatever, I can't commit to doing it how some people do it, and that's just what it is. The diet I'm currently living is not the healthiest either. It's not giving me everything I need. It's also become very bland and boring to me. So I have been, instead of eating mostly like legumes and beans and vegetables and stuff, I'm eating a lot of carbs, which I didn't want to do either. Granted, I do modify, if that's what I'm looking for, the carbs I'm eating. Like instead of getting regular pasta, I get the brown rice and quinoa pasta, like stuff more rich in fiber and protein rather than just a regular carb. Whatever. But even so, it's still not super healthy. And then you think of too, like, because I've been getting bored, I've been adding more of the soy protein meats, if you will, which too much soy in abundance is no good, which it's almost come to a point where I'm trying to balance in my head, like, well, I'm still not being totally healthy. In a way, if you're saying that eating meat is unhealthy, it's like, has it really changed, other than the fact that it's not meat, not real animal meat? It's still not been the healthiest the last couple months. So I'm battling that in my head as far as health. And then as far as the animal rights side of it, I'm also battling the fact that I am only a vegetarian. I am not a vegan. And to be completely honest, I don't think I could ever, if I really wholeheartedly wanted to, I could. I'm well aware of that. If there's something I want to do, I will do it. If it's enough to, you know, if I have the will, if it's enough of the desire to do it. To go vegan, I'm sorry, I can't give up cheese. I can't give up eggs. I've tried vegan cheese. It's not the same. It's pretty gross if you want to compare it to regular cheese, and that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree, that's fine. I don't like it. And as far as like, I don't even know if there's a vegan alternative to eggs. I've never gotten that far and I don't really want to try that either. But I'm still contributing to the inhumane process of animal products by only being a vegetarian. Is being a vegetarian, as far as if you're looking at animal rights, is that even, it's pretty hypocritical. I'm not helping at all because I'm still contributing to that process. For cheese and milk, eggs, there's still animal products that are not considered vegetarian because vegetarian is strictly meat. Vegan is all animal products in general. Another point I want to make is as far as my actual health. I have noticed differences that I can't 100% pinpoint to the giant change in my diet. However, it makes sense because these things didn't become apparent. I was not aware of these things until a few months into changing my diet. Number one, my hair has thinned out to a point where, I mean, this is like a normal person, this is like one side, like a half of their head of hair. This is my hair, the full thing. I've always had thinner hair. It was probably this thin when I used to do horrible things to it all the time. However, when I was eating a healthy diet that involved meat, and I was even healthier, I had a full head of beautiful, thick hair. Thicker, I would say. I never had like thick hair, but it was not this thin. I lose a lot of hair, which for a while, the thinness and the loss of hair, and I know some of it does pertain to it, but I would blame on postpartum, which, yeah, when I was still in that time, that makes sense. But I'm no longer postpartum. I'm not 18-month postpartum. It's not how it works. After about a year, your body is healed and things should be, as long as you're healthy, back to a normal state. So it's been a year and a half. I am no longer postpartum. Those things do not apply. So that's just that, it's my hair. Number two is my physical health as far as getting sick. Long story short, years ago, I got my tonsils removed when I was 18 because I was getting sick literally all the time, like once to twice a month, and everything that went around, I got. Swine flu, mono, all that stuff, I got it. Once I had my tonsils removed, I was rarely sick at all. I would get the occasional cold or postnasal drip or like a stomach bug, rarely. Otherwise, I did not get sick. Even while I was pregnant, I barely got sick. After a few months into being vegetarian, I was getting, again, whatever was going around at my job, in my home, and even to this day. I have a cold right now for the second time in a month, and that wasn't how my body worked before I cut meat out of my diet. Another thing that, like I said, I'm not 100% sure if it pertains to, but it kind of goes in sequence with when I changed my diet, was my teeth are super sensitive. Super sensitive. I had to change my toothpaste. I used to use Crest White strips once a year. I can no longer do that because I have it on for literally 2 minutes and I get that shooting pain, like, in my brain from how sensitive my teeth are. So that's another thing. So these are just a few things. This is gonna be super long and I'm really sorry. But these are a few things that have just led me to, I don't know if it's a decision, and I can't even say that. I don't think I want to do it anymore. Like I said, if comparing as far as health benefits, I am no more healthy now than I was when I was eating meat because of how I'm living a life as a vegetarian. And I don't want to have to drink a protein shake every day. I don't want to have to eat protein bars every day. Add that to my diet. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. And if I don't want to, and that's my decision, then I don't have to, regardless of how anybody else feels about it. Last night was a night where my husband made ribs and I almost cried because I was battling with myself, like, how ridiculous is that I feel like I'm a terrible person if I eat something? How ridiculous is that? And that's the point that I'm at too, where, and I know if I do start eating meat again, it is something I have to slowly introduce, because my body's gonna be like, whoa, you know, we detoxed of this, which is another thing too. I've honestly, since being vegetarian, like, I feel much lighter, not in a sense of weight. I can't really explain it, but I feel lighter. I don't get bloated. I don't bloat unless it's pertaining to my menstrual cycle, which has been great. But I also don't feel like I'm fulfilled anymore. And I know for me and a lot of other people in the world, food makes you happy. And I'm not happy in my diet anymore. It was cool for a little bit while it was helping me lose weight because I wasn't eating anything but vegetables because I didn't know any better. And that's the only reason I lost the weight that I did and as quickly as I did. But I don't want to live like that. I don't feel fulfilled that way. Oh, actually, you know what? Another point I wanted to make. Someone like me who part of the decision of being vegetarian was to save, you know, the animals and animal rights, whatever. let me just put this into perspective in your mind right now. 1% of America is vegan. 1%. 3.5% is vegetarian. Do you know how much that's helping the animals? It's not. And I know I'm gonna get so many arguments. This is so controversial, which I think is so stupid. What you decide to eat and put in your body in a daily life, in your daily life should not be controversial, but it is. And that's the world today, that's the internet, whatever. But I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, with those statistics, who am I helping? I'm not helping any of those animals. None of those industries are gonna be shut down or change the way they do things anytime soon with that type of statistic. And it's not going up. Not now, not in my lifetime. It's not going to. So that's another thing I kind of put into perspective. So I haven't made a clear decision as to whether or not I'm going to reintroduce meat into my life, but I could tell you I am on the borderline. I was really, the only thing that kept me from eating those ribs last night was because I ate a late lunch and I wasn't hungry at dinner time. When my husband finished his dinner, he put the ribs in the fridge. I didn't know he did that, and I was sitting in the living room and I was like, you know what? I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat, and I'm gonna have a rib. I'm gonna have one. And I got up and they were put away. And that gave me enough time to think of how terrible of a person I will be if I start eating meat again, and I didn't eat it. I ended up eating leftover Chinese food, which was just rice and vegetables. So, I don't know. And I'm not looking for people to tell me to do it. I did a poll on my Instagram just to see what people thought about it. Just out of curiosity, not because honestly what won was people telling me to eat the meat and I didn't anyway. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It was just to see, I guess. I don't know. I was curious. I'm not asking for anybody to push me into doing one thing or another. However, what I am asking of you, if this pertains to you, if you were vegetarian, vegan, whatever, you did not eat meat, and you decided to eat it again, what made you decide to eat it again? What helped you to get over the feeling of being this terrible person for eating it again? Truthfully, because I honestly, I'm ready to reintroduce it into my diet. That's kind of how I feel. Like I said, I haven't fully decided because I still can't get myself to do it at the moment, but I feel like I've definitely come down to a point where I'm realizing what it's doing to my health, and I would like to change that. And if that means eating meat again, so be it. But I think I've rambled on enough. So I'm just gonna leave it at, if you were not eating meat for so long in your life, however, even if it's a hell of a lot longer than me, because I know I've seen videos like that, even a few months, few weeks, whatever. What made you decide to reintroduce meat into your diet? Just out of curiosity. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also hit subscribe if you are new. I'd love to have you part of my YouTube family. I hope I don't get a ton of hate on this video, but if I do, it is what it is. There's hateful people out there, and that's just whatever. I hope you're all having a great day, night, afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are, and I'll see you all very soon in my next one. Sorry this is so long. Bye.